Hello, welcome to this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. My name is Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗢𝗙𝗢, and I'm the author of Sensitivity is Your Superpower, as well as the founder of the TOLPAKAN Healing Method and the Academy of Light Medicine. This week's topic is negative bias. Okay, so what am I talking about? Well, in the energy healing world, and even in, let's say, conventional medicine, we're always looking for what's wrong. Now, think about it. Now, I have had quite a bit of time in conventional medicine and probably equal amounts of time in energy healing and spiritual healing. So, what do we see in Western medicine in the old days when we had a physical chart? Remember those days? Yes, I'm that old. Anyway, so when we had a physical chart, we'd open the chart. On the left-hand side, we would have what is called the problem list. Yes, and the medication list, the family history. We didn't talk about what was great about your family history. We talked about everything wrong with your family history. Did you have a family history of diabetes or cancer or prostate issues or blah, 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 depression, right? And the problem list. Oh, yes, we wanted to keep the problem list up to date so we know what problems you have. And when you first come to the Western medical doctor, you come in and they're asking you what your problems are. So what did you come here for? What's the problem? Tell me about your problems, right? Well, all that attention on problems, guess what? The universe and the universal laws are like, well, whatever you put attention to, we're going to put more energy to, and we're going to give you more problems, right? Oh, great. Well, it took me a long time to figure that one out. And here's the funny thing. Now, popped into energy healing, and we're still looking for problems. It's, I believe, a not westernized, I don't know what you want to call it. It is a conditioned response that we have been taught to look for problems. Maybe it was our old caveman days, or when we were running away from the saber-toothed tiger or something like, maybe that survival instinct is looking for problems, looking for things that could kill us, you know. However, in today's day, it, we probably don't need that, right? We probably are pretty safe. Most of us, if you're watching this, you're probably pretty safe. Have hopefully a roof over your head, something to eat, family that cares about you, or friends that care about you, or something, right? So we don't have the need to have that survival instinct looking for problems. Yet the negative bias is there, and it stays there unless we consciously shift it to something else. Now, in energy healing, we're always, I should say always, a lot of times we're looking for things to rebalance. So therefore, we're looking for things out of balance, right? A lot of the modalities look for things that are wrong, look for things that are out of balance. How happy are your chakras? How not happy are your chakras? Like what's disconnected, that kind of thing. We generally don't necessarily expect everything to be perfect. And yeah, most of the time we're human, so stuff happens, right? We're not perfect. But how do we turn this around so we're not continuing to manifest and tell the universe we want more things to be wrong so we can be right about the wrong things? Okay, so I figured out the secret. Okay, it's not really a secret. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with noticing what you do not like and do not prefer. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, there's a pain in the elbow. Nothing wrong with that. That is what is true in that moment, right? What creates the negative cycle and why negative bias can be dangerous, what creates a negative cycle is any emotional content or charge to the noticing of what is true. So I'll give you an example. It's dramatic, but let me give you an example. Oh, there's a pain in this elbow right now. Pretty neutral, right? Let me do a different version. Oh, I got this stupid pain in my elbow again. When am I going to learn not to carry the suitcase that way? I always get this whenever I carry the suitcase the wrong way. Okay, you see how there's emotional content that is connected to the sensation of what is true in that moment, which is a pain in the elbow. And we do this to ourselves a lot. I still do it to myself. Well, maybe not a lot, but less than I did before. And now I'm learning to go, oh, erase, erase, right? When I notice that I am dramatic. And sometimes I notice myself being dramatic to like entertain people. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed myself being dramatic to entertain people, to get their attention, to get my point across. As long as I'm consciously doing it and realizing, okay, isn't what I prefer to bring into my life. But other times it's not conscious, and that's when it's problematic, is when we have an emotional charge around something that we perceive as something we do not like, do not prefer, and so-called negative. If we notice something we do not prefer, okay, give you an example. Oh, well, there are certain inoculations that can dislodge the soul from the body. Is that a good thing? Probably not on the scale of like what we consider good and healthy and all that kind of stuff. But it just is, okay, so we found that to be true for certain people, not everyone. So don't freak out. So that's the whole point, is don't freak out, right? Or freak out less, or just go, that's interesting. Now you might have an initial charge around that, understandably. Okay. But then you can go, oh, well, okay, so that is true in a reality that has happened, or that has been tested to happen. And when the soul is reconnected, people do better, right? So there's some data on that, but it's data and it's neutral. It does not have to be freak out mode, because when you freak out, and we're looking for entities, looking for ET interference, looking for jibby jabby side effects, whatever, right? You're with energy, with emotion, you're literally training the universe to give you more of that. I don't think we need any more of that. Thank you very much. So the negative bias served us possibly in the past, where we could have been eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. Who even knows if that's even true, right? Anyway, but now it doesn't really serve us to create or co-create the desired future reality we all say we wish to manifest. That love, joy, peace, harmony for all, prosperity for all. The more we have the negative bias and put energy and attention and emotion, we get more of that, and that is the opposite direction of where we are going. So, is it good to have a positive bias? Well, I guess possibly. You could try it out. It's going to take some effort because negative bias is kind of programmed into us. So positive bias might be, wow, okay, so this might not be something I initially desired, but I'm pretty sure there's something good coming out of this. I'm going to learn something, evolve something, create something. All right, so let's look for that. And the mind goes, you want me to look for a solution? Okay, right? So we give the mind a job instead of looking for how bad it is and why it's so bad. The mind goes, oh, you want me to look for a solution? Okay, I guess I'll put my energy over here, where you desire to go. So just remember and keep in check your emotional reaction. And if you can, as quickly as you can, then you can get to an appropriate response. And a positive bias or no bias at all may be helpful. When you just automatically assume that everything happens for a reason, that reason's there to serve you. You don't know what it is in the moment, but you're pretty sure it's there to serve us. And then you just say to the world, okay, this is where I'm at. Show me how it serves. And then the universe goes, okay, right? I got to tell you, that is much, much funner to live in that reality. Okay, so let's do a TOLPAKAN healing activation where we can maybe disconnect from that societal conditioning of negative bias and perhaps entertain or at least be open to the possible of, if we're going to have a bias, a positive bias. How about that? Okay, so if you'd like to receive this activation, you can go ahead and get comfy in your skin, your body, rub your hands. This is the beginner method of going into stillness through observing internal movement, or STOEM for short. So relax. If it's safe for you to do so, close your eyes. Focus on your body where you just moved. Feel any flow, waves, tingles, any feeling at all in the body. And then follow that feeling wherever it goes. Follow the flow. We enter the 0 point field by being here in the now, feeling our bodies. I'll speak the TOLPAKAN healing directives, and if it's for your highest and greatest good to receive, you will receive. If it's not, you will not receive. And that's how it works. We never force a healing on anyone. And besides, who's doing the healing anyway, right? It's you. I now command that any negative bias, tendencies to negative bias, and addiction to negative bias be deleted, dissolved, unconditioned, and the patterns dissolved in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with speed, ease, and grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I now command that the openness of our minds to receive either positive bias or just neutrality, that anything preventing that be healed and resolved in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease, speed, and grace. I now command the positive morphic field of already being predominantly open, neutral, coming from a place of response rather than reactivity, be downloaded and activated with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where you exist, where we exist. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So go ahead and feel that in the body. Love for you to comment below. Let me know. Do you get what I'm saying about negative bias? Where have you been on that journey where you are now? And perhaps what does your body feel like having done this activation? Would love to hear your comments. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right, a few announcements for this week. Number one is on Monday's Light Warrior radio show, I have the great pleasure of airing an episode, The Dimensional Deep Dive, with Marcus Bird and Karen Can. This time we're talking about super fast healing. Or quantum healing, or quantum speed healing, if you will. So I love picking Marcus's brain because we kind of think similarly. He has different ways of describing things, though, which is super cool. And because he channels amazing high vibe off-world beings and learned a lot about Egyptian medicine from them, he can describe it in a way that gives you a picture in your mind what that's like. So we're going to talk about spherical awareness to some degree and how in the quantum you don't need linear time to heal, right? And what are the connections between our emotions and resonating? Yeah, I think you'll really, really love this episode of Dimensional Deep Dive with me and Marcus. So I'll put the link below, 12 noon Eastern. That is when it is airing on Monday. A couple other announcements is that in just a few days, October 1st, the TOLPAKAN Healing Level 1 program, the legacy price ends. So that means the price that we've had stable for many years is finally going up. So from $3,999 to $4,777. So if you've been kind of coming in high, not really sure whether now's the time to get TOLPAKAN 1 and be fully empowered in your own self-healing process, where you can do what I do, and we just help support you to be as great a self-healer as you can be. Now might be the time to commit to your self-healing and get and lock in the legacy price. So I'll put the link below so you can find out more. October 1st is when the price goes up. And last but not least, just a little reminder in case you're new to my channel, there is a special group that I absolutely love. So every Wednesday at noon Eastern, we get together for a Zoom chat. It's called the Health Freedom Tribe. So here we just chat about what's going on in the world, what's going on in our lives, how are we building a sustainable, beautiful, peaceful future for ourselves. And so we have people from all over the world tune in and just share what's going on with them. Sometimes we talk about the news, and I usually do a perspective spin on what is happening. And sometimes a little coaching and counseling occurs in there as well. And once a month we have a healer or a spiritual teacher or even sometimes even members of the Health Freedom Tribe that have expertise in an area come and speak about their expertise so we can learn more about natural healing, learn more about intuition, learn more about what's really going on in the world in a peaceful, non-violent, non-confrontational way. So if you're into health freedom without all the fighting, then Health Freedom Tribe is for you, especially if you want to chat with me and Leslie every week. We'll put the link below, and it is only $33 a month. You get to chat with me 4 times a month, generally. So love for you to join. 12 noon Eastern every Wednesday is when we have those calls. All right, I think that's it on my list. Let me just double check. I think I remembered everything. Yay. So love for you to comment below. Let me know what you think about this video. Remember to hit the subscribe button, the like button if you like it, and we'll see you next time. Much love. Bye for now.